out here looking stupid. Why are you tripping? Oh my God, you really out here mad like that, messing up your own car? How are you mad at me because you got caught messing with a dude?
What you mean I'm messing with no dude, bro?
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smart, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. So as you guys know, especially when dealing with contentious topics such as this, I like to put in the intro what's actually being discussed at the moment, just so you can have your own visualization of what the IWC is talking about, and whether or not you can make a determination for yourself as to whether the IWC is blowing what's being talked about completely out of proportion as per usual, or there's actual justified outrage, which is a rarity. But unfortunately, it's WWE's media, and WWE hates me. I don't know what I did to them. I'm pretty sure I pissed in their cereal the other day. I'm not sure. It could be the copious amount of videos of me shitting on them. I don't know. It all depends. But if I put that video in the intro, unfortunately, they're going to block me quicker than the girl you thought you rizzed up at the grocery store the other day. But you don't realize she just gave you her number just for you to get the fuck out of her face. The minute you went the opposite direction from where she was going, she laughed with her friends at you, attempting to talk to her. What the fuck is wrong with you? I hope I ruined your confidence. But nevertheless, though, link is down in the description box below so you can watch the video for yourself if you feel so compelled to do so. If not, shut the fuck up and let me explain what the hell's going on at the moment. So, I missed this apparently last night. There was a match last night with Charlotte Flair and I think Chelsea Green. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was Chelsea Green. Otherwise, why the fuck is Piper Niven there? Whoa! Apparently, Charlotte Flair locked Chelsea Green into the figure eight, and then Piper Niven, she came waltzing her. Ooh, gotta be careful with the insults. Again, being all tied up by YouTube. Gotta love YouTube. Piper Niven ended up hitting a Earth gravity universe-sized senton on Charlotte Flair while she was still arched on her back with her tippy toes pointing right down on the floor. And that has got the IWC in an uproar. And another rarity, apparently Charlotte Flair has everybody on her side, and everybody is attacking Piper Niven. As a matter of fact, I think I've seen something with Piper Niven actually playing into the outrage, which is, again, depending how you look at it, I don't care. I have more of a broader, at least for me, you guys can attack this or approach it in whatever way you feel like you want to approach it. I feel like I have a broader interpretation as far as discussing this subject at hand. But yeah, everybody wants Piper Niven's head on a silver platter. I mean, at least for the next 17 hours. Then it's on to the next outrage. But are they justified in how they're feeling at the moment? You know the old saying when it comes to professional wrestling, this shit ain't ballet. I mean, they've been saying that for so long, you might want to ask whether or not they're projecting. But nevertheless, though, I don't know, man. There's a part of me that does suggest, be careful, watch what you're doing, look down, pay attention to your opponent. Their body is in the palm of your hands, and their life is in your hands. So always be sure to take care of that precious life in your hands, known as a professional wrestler's life. But then on the other hand, also, it's like, I don't fucking care. No, I'm not going to go in that direction. No, but real talk though, do you think professional wrestling has gone a little bit too far as the carelessness that's been happening as of late? It's not just looking at Charlotte Flair, and I know people are going to automatically bring up Kairi Sane and the situation with Zoe Stark and the situation with Liv Morgan, but it goes beyond that, right? It goes well beyond that. The unnecessary, and look, again, people are going to approach this in a different manner. My approach when looking at something like this, as I've been saying for the better part of nearly half a decade. No, it's been half a decade right about now, or it's coming up on half a decade right about now. I've been preaching this on my channel. Stop focusing so much on the stupid fucking wrestling. Stop it. Stop focusing on it. Now, if you're going to risk life and limb, if you're going to risk injury, that should never have to be the case. I mean, I always thought the idea of wrestling was to make it look fake when in reality it's real. No, wait, I said that backwards. Make it look real when in reality it's fake. Doesn't that make you a bit of a fucking mark if you have to go out there and actually do legitimately real shit to other people in order to get yourself over? Or if you have to take actual real shit in order for it to look believable, right? That kind of makes me feel like you're terrible at your job if you're doing the complete opposite of the actual goal that's intended. And you see this all the time when it comes to the wrestlers. Like, put the argument to the side, and I'm going to come back to it in a minute, but put the whole argument to the side as far as, you know, the whole ballet bullshit. Like, if you're going out there, the intended purpose for the match is to illustrate the problems that you're currently having within your feud, right? Like, we say this all the time, but like, it really needs to be honed in on when stressing this point. The main contention when it comes to professional wrestling nowadays is the lack of story, in particular the lack of depth within the stories, and the lack of characters. In particular, if you want to take it that far, the lack of depth within the characters in themselves. I actually seen a post that I wish I can find right now, but maybe you guys seen it around. I don't know. It's not viral or anything, but it had a pretty few amount of likes, where someone was bitching and moaning and complaining and groaning about Triple H's current booking of people like Jey Uso, for an example. And, you know, because last night, Braun Breaker, apparently he had a backstage interaction with one of the superstars, and he started to bark at them or some shit. And they're like, oh my god, no, they're regressing back to the gimmicks. Oh, now they're just playing into the stereotypes that made them popular. They first did it with Jey Uso, with the Yeet. He's now playing into it. He's the Yeet Master, which sounds completely gay. But also, Braun Breaker, he's a doggy, woof woof, bark. He's a dog, and he's barking. God, no. Like, this person was actually crashing out over the fact that professional wrestling is, you know, being professional wrestling. I don't fucking know. It's like he's never heard of Gorgeous George, who existed like damn near 80 years ago. Like, it's crazy. Actually, it has probably been about 80 years right about now when fucking with Gorgeous George. Like, it's crazy to me. The whole purpose of professional wrestling is to actually have characters go out there. They play to your emotions and you relate to them. And the idea for the matches, yes, they're fun to watch. And yes, that's the priority. But also, as far as coinciding and conflating with the actual stuff that's going on in regards to the program, it's supposed to give you that direction as to where the story is going, right? I say this 1,000,001 times. When you watch Dragon Ball Z or you watch any other television show, like in particular the combat shows, right? Or like the fighting shows, or, you know, the military movies, or whatever the case may be, right? Like, yeah, the fighting sequences are fun, but no one necessarily remembers any of the actual moves individually. You just think of it in its totality as being fun, and you just want to see where the story is going to progress. If for nothing else, at least to get to the next fighting scene. And it's like, when you kind of get away from that, then you have the superstars who have to rely on the wrestling in itself. That's the era that we live in nowadays. And there's so many people who kind of push that agenda of just completely disregarding everything in regards to the circumstances surrounding around the match in itself, and just focus strictly on the match, to the degree where you have people who are outright call matches 5 stars when in reality they're not going to remember it. I would have think, I mean, maybe it's just me, as far as my criteria, I would think anything that's graded 5 stars is absolutely perfect, right? And for things to be perfect, it just can't be a reflection off of the match in itself. It has to be the reason why you watch the match to begin with, and it has to be the stuff that happens after the match to begin with, right? There's no way I'm going to watch a movie and then grade it and then say that, oh yeah, all this shit right here I completely ignored, but I focus strictly on the acting, or I focus strictly on the production, or I focus strictly on the score. It's fucking retarded. If you have to eliminate anything in order to focus hardcore on one element, then that kind of takes away, you know, by default, what it means to be perfect. Like, it makes no sense. Like, that's fucking dumb. How can something be perfect but you're eliminating elements that's required in order to make the whole experience feel whole? No? Am I delusional here? And then you take it back to the superstars. You take it back to Piper Niven doing shit like this, and yeah, it's one thing to focus on and then suggest, hey, it's not that big of a deal, it's professional wrestling, it just comes with the territory. That you're right, but chill for a second, skibbity dumb fuck. I'm suggesting that maybe, just maybe, if you weren't so dead set and so dead focused on making your shit look good, and you put more time and effort into actually having people emotionally invest within what you're doing, you can get something over as simple as kicking her in the back while she's arching versus having to do something insane like a fucking senton while you're weighing 500 pounds on a person who probably weighs every bit of 60 pounds. Do you think that makes any sense at all? That's the logic that I'm coming to right now. You know, you go back to the 80s, and it's not to say that injuries were a rare thing, but at least compared to nowadays, I feel like superstars are getting injured left and right. It's very, very, very hard for me to look down a roster of AEW or WWE and not at least focus on one superstar that hasn't been injured at least one time. Like, do you know how insane that is? You could probably count on maybe two hands, if that, how many superstars has, if for nothing else, had a concussion, a major injury that wasn't like, you know, breaking your arm or anything crazy like that, but like just something that's going to keep you inactive for a long period of time. Like someone has got hurt in a serious way fucking with professional wrestling, and it's through the roof, especially in comparison to how it was back in the 80s. Yet none of these superstars are even remotely close to being as over as any superstar from the 80s, going all the way down to the mid-card. You know how many people who I talked to today who has no clue? They don't know who Cody Rhodes is. They don't. Some of them don't even know who Roman Reigns is. I'm being honest with you. None of them know who the fuck they are. But I can tell you this. You talk to a kid today, they for sure know who Macho Man Randy Savage is. He's been dead for 14 years now. Honestly, with all due respect to Randy, as far as being on television, he hasn't been seen legitimately by the point of his death for nearly 10 years. And yet people know who the fuck he is. It's not to say Randy Savage is a mid-card or anything like that. That's fucking ridiculous. But it's to suggest that people look at what Randy Savage brought to the table, and that is what put him over. That's what put him into a position where he can afford to not have to do all the dumb shit stuff that people today typically do. And again, I don't know if it's just the environment in itself that kind of persuades you to want to go in that direction, you know, to do what a Piper Niven did, to risk life and limb for something that's not even going to give you the same amount of pop that a superstar would have got about, let's say, 15 or 20 years ago, just simply walking down the fucking aisle. I'll put it to you this way. Rock and Hogan looking left and right. Left and right. There is nothing that AEW has ever done that has even remotely came close to that pop. And not just the pop, a sustained pop throughout the entire match. Going directly into Raw the next night, where Hogan got a sustained ovation. An ovation that happened from the beginning of his entrance through the commercial break, right back there. The closest thing you could probably get is CM Punk. Which, by the way, CM Punk and AEW, that's another perfect example of not focusing strictly on just the wrestling in itself. Look at the moments that it's creating. And I'm not saying that people have to compare to or have to be compared to what CM Punk did in AEW. That's very hard. That's very rare. I'm not suggesting that. But what I am suggesting is, I'm not saying people have to be on par with Punk. What I'm suggesting is look at what people care about. It's all about the moments. It's all about the moments. And if you can produce a moment, there's no amount of moves in the world that no one's going to give a shit about and compared to you actually giving them what they want. Sami Zayn has done so much to his body, completely fucking wrecked it. He hit Roman Reigns in the back with a chair and probably got the biggest pop he's ever received in his entire career. Or at least one of, for sure. For sure. A chair to the back probably got him bigger pot than him going through fucking glass or going through fucking ladders or whatever dumb shit he used to do back in the days as El Generico. That's the situation. That's the problem. And I wish people would focus more on that. I wish people would take the time to sit back and sit down and reflect off of the dumb shit that they're actually asking for, when in reality, you don't care for that. Or if for anything else, the aspect of the wrestling that ends up being this 5-star classic that you forget about after 2 weeks when the next 5-star classic approaches and takes over that last 5-star classic, ask yourself, how memorable would that match have been with the same wrestling, but you actually giving a fuck? Not tribalistic, oh, it happens to be with my favorite wrestling company, therefore I give a fuck. No, actually giving a fuck. They gave you some great build, you got a dope promo package, you got some nice pumping circumstances in regards to their actual entrance coming up to the ring and itself. All the things that make up a complete presentation before you got the match in itself. Imagine the shit that you wouldn't even have to do and still be able to get more out of not just the marks, but for yourself and for your own health. Because when you're that over, when you're so fucking over, where all you have to do is throw a fucking punch and people pop for that, now you're doing your job right. Now you're doing your job. And you see people online, like I've seen Ricochet, for an example, and I know he's trolling half the time, but he says things like, why can't people just enjoy professional wrestling for what it is? No. Why can't you stop trying to do the bare fucking minimum because you're a lazy piece of shit, and then suggest and gaslight people to like the shit that you put forth because you're a lazy piece of shit who doesn't actually want to work? Like, no, stop trying to gaslight people to fall suit into what like you're doing the wrong kind of working at the moment. You're working people to accept mediocrity because you are mediocre. Don't do that. Do the hard part. Get over. Oh wait, I'm sorry, you can't. Because, oh wait, that's right, you weren't made for professional wrestling. So therefore, people like you have to go out there and bump like fucking lunatics and put people's bodies at risk and put your own body at risk, when in reality, if you have something worth a damn that can connect with everybody and not just what you like, and then you say to yourself that what you bring to the table connects with your immediate audience and therefore it's good, and anybody outside of that circle, they're pieces of shit, they're losers, they don't like what I bring to what the story, the character. How many times have I heard, if I had $1 for how many people I actually heard say, for an example, AEW does tell stories, and then they'll point to something and then say, see, that's a story. The story, for an example, of Kanaki Sokamaka and Suzuki Lakamiyo, they're actually having a feud that goes all the way back to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and now they're in AEW, and Exhibit A versus Exhibit B want to see who are the best. Boom, that's your story. Okay, great. I guess by default that's considered a story. I was thinking something a little bit more in depth. Huh? Call me crazy? It's the whole proverbial 2 dogs fucking on the side of the road. Yeah, it's gonna catch my attention, but I'm pretty sure after about the 10th time, it's just 2 dogs fucking on the side of the road. Stop it. Stop it. The Piper Niven and Charlotte Flair thing, yeah, you can say it's not ballet, but at the same time, was it necessary? And what was the mentality behind it as to what made Piper think that was okay to do? Not what she was thinking when she did the spot initially, but what was the mentality as a whole before even doing the spot that made her believe that it was okay to do the spot? The same mentality shared by all the wrestlers. We don't have anything to work with. All we have to work with is just strictly the in-ring work, and therefore, unfortunately, that's all we can do. So we stretch it to its limits, while everything fucking sucks that surrounds it, and nothing of anything that we do of worth within the match, no matter how fucking exciting, no matter how athletic, no matter how dangerous, it's not going to be remembered. Because essentially, we're just 2 dogs fucking again, but this time it's in the woods and it's not making a sound and no one can hear it. So is it really making a sound? But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. People are going to be like, your bone is completely out of proportion. You're not listening to the video. You're not listening to the video. You're not understanding the video. You're not getting it. Use your noodle. Come on. I'm not talking about ramen either. Come on. I'm not talking about your penis also. Use that thing on top of your head, inside your head. See what I mean? I'm catching a retard right now. It's contagious. But you do that. You type. And you come back and let me know how you feel after you're done typing. Well, that'd be the purpose of typing. Whatever. Again, your retardation, it's very contagious. But I'm out of here, and I'll be catching you guys later. A deuces and a pea ice.